Okay guys, the 10 bolt Salisbury is on the bench ready to be rebuilt. All the wheel bearing and seals are on their way. I've got to find a yoke seal. I've got to cut these brackets off. The hangers for the sedan are on their way as well. The rear disc brakes are pretty knackered. They need a total rebuild. So I've got to order those parts, and once I've ordered... Righto, it's raining outside, day off today. So I'll just strip this diff down. Got the new bearings coming in, hopefully they're in today. Now this is out of a WB Statesman, so I've discovered running the numbers, and that bracket there's for the sway bar, so that stays. And there's somebody's cut this off, as you can see. You can just see where they've ground all the other crap off and retrofitted it into a ute. So now it's coming back into a sedan. So they're got to go. And thanks to McDonald's Brothers Racing, I've got all the parts here to weld back on. That's our job today.
Fucking peel, man.
Righto, they've been taken off. Now just gently, slowly but surely, I'll grind these welds down, get that all nice and smooth. Righto, all the hardware's been cut off, she's ground down, she's nice and flat. There's the pieces that I'll be welding back on there once I get the diff back up into the car and I can see where they're actually got to go. So hopefully the next video I'll put up is me putting the diff back in. Righto guys, pretty much got the diff sitting in for the moment. I'll just turn the camera around and show you what I'm up. She's just sitting on the acro props. I'm using the jack hoist to get the angle of the yoke up and down in the perfect spot, and I'm using this ratchet strap, which I've got to put another one on the other side just to pull it and triple check my measurements, which I've double checked and triple checked. I've just got a little bit more to go, and then I'll be able to use the welder and start tacking these into place. Now what I have done is I've guessed my 50mm low, and I've guessed where it's going to be under load. I put a tyre on it, had a look at it, sat it in the wheel arch. Now if I'm wrong, righto, these don't quite fit perfectly, so I'm just going to grind the lug off of here a little bit, and then we're going to weld him up. I'm coming. Righto guys, everything's tacked in place now. Ready for the diff to come back out. And put some pretty decent welds on there. Like I said, if I can't get a wheel alignment nice and straight on this back, if I'm too far out, this bottom control arm, I'll make it a adjustable one. You can buy them. McDonald's Brothers Racing have them. They're the ones that I brought all this bracketry off. And I think they're only about 320, 330 bucks. And I've seen these go rebuilt on eBay for about the same price. So somebody is doing a proper resto, may want them, or I'll keep them for my next car. But I don't think I'm going to do another sedan. I want to do a wagon. Righto, we'll pull her out, we'll weld her up. Okay guys, next day. I'm just waiting on the yoke seal. The one that I got is a couple of mil too big. They gave me the wrong one. I've just given this a really good clean with petrol to get most of the grease off. And I've hit it with wax remover. Tomorrow I shall get it in undercoat. Saturday I will get the proper paint all over it and hopefully install it Sunday. So stay tuned. A couple of days have gone past. It's Saturday. Finally got a chance to paint the diff. I didn't video that. I think you guys have seen a lot of spray painting videos, but I reckon this has come up really nice with the brackets and everything on it. Pretty glossy. It'll die down just a little bit, but then I can tomorrow start putting all the brake lines and everything on it. Well, who would have thought doing brake lines would be a freaking pain in the ass. That one brake line took me about half an hour to bend around and get it in the right spot. But it does look beautiful. Okay, all the plumbing is done. Looks pretty schmick, I reckon. So in the next hour, it will be going in the back of the car. Very, very excited, except for one thing. This car would have been rolling today. Apart for the rotors, they turned up and they were not slotted. So they will have to go back and I'll have to get some more. Never mind. Righto guys, just about ready to whack these springs in. I've got the new rubbers. They go on the top of the springs. So they just go in up here and stop it from squeaking, right? But where they sit on top of the diff, I'll come around the other way because of the sun. Where they sit on top of the diff, it's just metal to metal. So what I've done is I've had a bit of rubber matting floating around. It's pretty strong shit. I'll just cut out these rings. And they're going to sit just on top. Try and reduce any kind of squeaking whatsoever. There'd be nothing worse than going down the highway and, you know, in 3 or 4 years' time, this thing starts squeaking like they usually do. Typical Holden squeaks from the suspension and stuff. So, yeah, you can't buy that stuff. You got to make it. Any nut and bolt bloke, retail store or anything like that will have rubber mat. You might even find some at Bunnings, but you want to get something that's quite strong. It's got a fibre running through it as well. No use putting it in if it's going to wear out anyway. So a little trick that I've done, I thought I might share that with all you guys, and hopefully it works the treat. Well, we've got a little bit of a problem with our diff. These McDonald's Brothers Racing brackets don't quite work with our shockers. I can't get the shocker over. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get in here, cut this down, cut a V out on both sides, just so I can straighten, kick that nut around a little bit to get it in. Now, I dare say these would be perfect if I had brought the control arms from McDonald's Brothers as well, because then I could have wound these in to suit me shockers and then adjusted the diff to suit the control arms. But I didn't do that, so now I'm just going to have to modify it. On this one here you can actually see the angle. It's just way too much. Just can't get it out of the grinder, which means painting my beautiful diff again. Get back to you shortly. Okay, so I've cut a little bit of a V out of that, and I'm just going to tap that end down. That should, in theory, straighten the bolt up. I'm not an engineer. Let's see. There we go. Alright, that's down pretty tight. Tighten up the groove. Does it need to go more? Let's have a look at that angle. Probably needs to go a touch more, doesn't it? I reckon. I'll take this bolt back out, push this shocker up. Yeah, it's still got to go a little bit more, look at that. Alright, back to the grinder. Righto. See, I've straightened that right up now. I've cut that V out. I'll just push this shocker up. Sorry about the camera angle. That's nice and straight-ish, kinda. Pretty well spot on. All I've got to do is weld that up now and do the other side, which something I didn't really want to do, but anyway. Got to do what you got to do. Righto, so I've welded them up, both sides, and I've welded them on the inside. Don't need it. I'm just going to clean them up so it looks a bit factory and paint it. Righto guys, they're all welded, been ground back. I reckon they look trick. You can just see just how much I've taken out of that face. Both sides, so I'm calling that done. Those shockers be able to bolt it up now, so it won't be long and she'll be all done.